Hello and welcome to Food for Thought. It's Mark Lockridge here. I'm the pastor of New Life Fellowship in Letterkenny and Milford Reformed Presbyterian Church. It's good to have you with us. Have you ever heard the first half of a joke and missed the punchline? Or seen the first half of a film and wondered how it finished? Jesus told a story, a parable that Charles Dickens called the greatest short story ever written. The parable of the prodigal son. It's a masterful tale, told in the briefest number of words. But so often only the first part of the story is told. Maybe you've heard it. The son who takes his inheritance and blows it in wine, women and song and finds himself penniless, and who decides to go back, apologise and perhaps earn his way back into his father's good books. But as he returns, his father spots him and with a surprising reaction runs toward him, tears flowing down his face. He welcomes him back with open arms. What a wonderful, feel-good story. But do you know this? It's only the setup for the punchline. You see, the second half of the story tells about another son. One who has been the epitome of a good, honest, decent man. And that's where Jesus yanks the rug out from under his hearers. He's telling it to a group of religious people who are looking down their nose at Jesus, who's hanging out with people that they thought inferior. Sinners, the outcasts, the unworthy. But Jesus tells us this story to show us that there are two ways to be lost, not one. It is in fact a story that would be better titled A Tale of Two Lost Sons. One is estranged from his father by the predictable wine, woman and song, and the other, whilst remaining at home dutiful and obedient, is just as estranged from his father as the other son. He says at one point, "All these years I've been slaving for you." That's not a father-son relationship, is it? That's a master-servant relationship. He thinks he's acceptable because of how he's performing. He's estranged as well. Both sons need to return to their father. But only one does. The one we standardly call the prodigal son. The father, yes, went out to him, but he went out to both sons. But only one came in. The older brother doesn't turn and come in. He remains out in the fields. I find it fascinating and sad that so many preachers tell only half the story. The half they tell isn't the point of the story. It's the setup for the point. The sting in the tail. The sting in the tail is the older brother. We are not simply meant to marvel at the loving welcome of the father, but to see ourselves, perhaps as the prodigal son, or perhaps more likely as the stubborn, self-righteous older brother who thinks that you earn your way into the father's favour. That's the point Jesus is making as he tells it to religious people who think that because of their righteousness they're bound to be in God's good books. They would be the ones who would miss out, he's saying, because they refuse to humble themselves and to come to God on God's terms. How it must have offended Jesus' hearers. He properly offended people, didn't he? He wants them and us to see that there are two ways to be lost. You can be rebellious and ruined, or you can be religious and ruined. And elder brother lostness is much worse than younger brother lostness, because it looks like you're okay when you're not. The solution for both sons is found in the Father's love, expressed through sending his Son Jesus. Jesus Christ came to seek and to save the lost. That includes those lost far from home and those lost close to home. You can't be too bad for God, but you can think yourself too good. Which are you? And don't let preachers tell you only half the story. Insist on hearing the other half. Thanks for listening. And if you want to get in touch, drop me an email, mark@newlifefellowship.ie. Have a great week.